All right, let's jump right in. So you've poured months, maybe even years of work into an invention, and then you get the news, a final rejection from the patent office. What do you do now? Today, we're going to break down your next move and show you how to turn what feels like a major setback into a really smart strategic advantage. Yeah, that quote really hits home, doesn't it? It's a feeling so many innovators know. You've hit this wall, and the whole path forward just seems completely blocked. But the truth is, this is absolutely not the end of the road. You see, a final rejection isn't a failure. Not at all. It's a critical turning point. This is the moment where you have to shift your thinking from just being an inventor to being a strategist, because the choice you make right here has some very real, very serious business consequences. This isn't just about some legal procedure. It's a huge strategic decision about your company's timeline and, your budget. The whole thing really boils down to one core question. Are you playing for speed or are you playing for strength? Your answer to that is going to determine everything. And let's be totally clear about what's really at stake here. This isn't just about a piece of paper. We're talking about things that can literally make or break a company. A delay can totally stall a funding round right when you have all this momentum, or it could make you miss a critical product launch window. But the right move, that can lock in your competitive edge and send this incredibly powerful signal of confidence to all your investors. So, let's look at your first option. We're going to call this one the sprinter's strategy. This is for when speed is your absolute top priority. It's called AFCP 2.0. Okay, so what is AFCP 2.0? Think of it as a precision tool, not a shortcut. It's really designed for those situations where you're already this close to getting an agreement with the examiner. We're talking minor fixes, right? Like clarifying a definition or maybe slightly narrowing a claim to get around something they cited. It lets you make those small, super focused changes to get your patent allowed fast, keeping your place in line and saving you a ton of time and money. So how does it actually work? Well, you file a response with those minor changes that directly fix what the examiner pointed out. The examiner then gets a limited amount of extra time, usually just a few hours, to look at your changes. If your fix is simple enough for them to sign off on in that little window, bam, you get your allowance. And if not, you haven't really lost much. You just pivot to your other option. Now, to really nail an AFCP 2.0, you've got to be tactical. First, you have to file early. Give the examiner plenty of time. Second, you have to frame your changes in a way that makes it incredibly easy for them to just say yes. You don't want them to have to do any new research. And finally, never, ever underestimate the power of an examiner interview. It's your chance to have a real conversation and just find that common ground to get a quick allowance. All right, on to option 2. If AFCP 2.0 is the sprinter, then the RCE is the marathoner. This is the path you take when building long-term strength, and having control are way more important than just immediate speed. An RCE, which stands for Request for Continued Examination, is basically a giant reset button. It officially reopens the whole examination process, giving you the full right to keep the conversation going with the examiner, almost like that final rejection never even happened. Where the AFCP 2.0 gives you speed, the RCE gives you control. So what does that control actually let you do? Well, with an RCE, you can make some really substantial changes. This is where you might bring in a completely new set of data to back up your claims, or add claims for a totally different part of your invention. You're not just fixing a little problem here, you're fundamentally rebuilding your position for the long haul. It's really easy to look at an RCE and just see a delay and an expense, but that's the wrong way to think about it. It's actually an investment. When an invention is truly core to your business, taking that extra time to get the claims exactly right can pay off for years and years to come. So that brings us right to the central dilemma. You've got two very different paths, each with its own clear advantages. How in the world do you choose? Well, it all boils down to that classic trade-off, speed versus certainty. This is the question every single innovator has to answer at this crossroads. What does your business need right now at this exact moment? Do you need a quick win to build momentum, or do you need a rock-solid foundation for the future? Let's put these two side by side, okay? With AFCP 2.0, your goal is a quick win. We're talking a timeline of weeks. The big benefit is speed and momentum, which is absolutely perfect for a fundraising push or if a product launch is right around the corner. On the other hand, an RCE is all about getting broad coverage. That can take months. The benefit there is total control and strength, which is ideal when you're protecting core technology that's going to define your company's future. But here's the expert move. You might not actually have to choose. A really sophisticated strategy is to get the best of both worlds.
You can use AFCP 2.0 to get a patent allowed quickly on a narrower set of claims. That gives you immediate protection and a great story for your investors. Then you file a separate continuation application to go after broader, stronger claims using the RCE process. See? You get speed now and strength later.
So let's bring this all home. The key here is to stop seeing this as just another legal step and start seeing it for what it truly is, a powerful business tool that you can use to your advantage. Here is your simple, actionable framework. First, ask yourself, what is my immediate business goal? Second, analyze the changes you need to make. Are they minor or are they major? Third, based on that, choose your path, speed or strength. And finally, no matter which path you choose, execute it with precision.
And that right there, that's the secret. This decision cannot be made in a vacuum. It has to be perfectly, absolutely aligned with your business roadmap. A fast-moving product cycle that probably favors AFCP 2.0. Deep technology with long-term value that might just justify the patience of an RCE.
Ultimately, I want you to remember this. Just getting a patent isn't the only goal. The real prize is getting that patent in a way that actively accelerates your business, whether that means closing a funding round faster or building an ironclad moat around your competition. And that's what I'll leave you with. Take a hard look at your own innovation. When you eventually reach this crossroads, are you going to be building for speed or for strength? Knowing the answer to that question is the key to turning a patent rejection into a massive business victory.